The stars were quiet. Too quiet. Across the galaxy, strange things were happening. Space stations could not contact Earth. Trade routes had no human ships. Science posts run by Earth-born teams were now empty. No one had answers. Only silence. For years, the Galactic Union believed Earth was just another young planet. Small, emotional, weak. But humans had grown fast. They joined the Union late, but they worked hard, built strong machines, helped everyone. Still, many alien races looked at them as tools, not friends. Now Earth was gone. Not destroyed, just gone. On the capital world of Zernak, leaders of the Galactic Union gathered. Their faces showed fear, even the ones who claimed to be fearless. A tall, green-skinned commander slammed his fist on the table. "We must reconnect with Earth," he said. "They shut all channels," answered a short alien with wide eyes. "All communication links are blocked. Even secret codes don't work." A silence followed. Heavy. Cold. "Maybe it's a system glitch," someone whispered. But it wasn't. In the mining colony on Moon 4, machines powered by Earth's energy cores began to fail. Lights went out. Air systems shut down. Hundreds of miners ran toward the emergency shelters. One of them, a veteran named Kazakh, looked up at the dark sky. "They left," he said. "They really left." The command center tried to reboot the systems. Nothing worked. All Earth-made tech had gone offline. A message played in the control room in a strange rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. "We are done." That was all. Nothing more. Just those 3 words. On the peaceful planet of Javaris, a spaceport manager watched as 5 cargo ships stopped mid-flight and dropped from orbit. No warning, no fire, just silence, then impact. The ground shook. Fires spread. Inside one of the ships, they found a single note carved into metal. "This is just the beginning." Panic began to spread. The Galactic Union's record showed that 68% of the galaxy's trade, medicine, and power systems used Earth's technology. Earth had given much, and now they had taken it all back. Back on Zernak, an old alien historian, Vrel, remembered Earth's entry into the Union. He had watched them work day and night, smiling, helping, never asking for much. But he also remembered something else, a warning given long ago. "They are patient," he had said at the time. "But patience can hide power." Now, he repeated those words as the leaders shouted at each other in fear. "We never saw the humans for what they were," Vrel said quietly. "Not weak, not emotional, just waiting." Reports came in fast. On the planet Drexus, Earth's healing machines stopped working. Thousands of sick beings began to weaken. In deep space, battles began over trade routes that humans once protected. One message, picked up by a patrol ship, caused even more fear. It showed a dark screen with a voice, cold and without emotion. Balance was broken. Earth has chosen silence. What follows is chaos. Many wondered, why now? Why leave? No one had answers. But some remembered. Earth had tried to speak before. They warned about unfair treatment. They asked for peace. But no one listened. On planet Galore, a young technician named Pyrrha sat alone watching the stars. Her father was saved by human doctors. Her brother worked on an Earth-built research ship. She whispered to the sky, "Come back." But there was no reply. At the edge of the known galaxy near the human-controlled Gate 7, a patrol drone recorded movement. A strange light, fast and silent, passed into dark space. The drone tried to follow, but its system shut down before it could send more data. Later, alien scientists found a signal hidden deep in old human code. It repeated every 6 hours. "We are watching." On the world of Tanis Prime, the richest trade planet, a leader named Zorvak tried to calm his people. "This is a phase. Earth will return." But even he didn't believe his own words. Everywhere, systems built with human help began to fail. Without Earth, the galaxy felt smaller, darker, weaker. Some still believed Earth would come back. Others feared what they might come back as. In the ruins of a quiet moon base, one last human message was found hidden inside a crashed satellite. A child's voice. Clear. Calm. We gave peace. You chose pride. Now learn. The leaders of the galaxy sat in silence watching the screen. Earth had not just left. They had disconnected, and whatever came next was already on its way. The lights went out on planet Veltrax. Ships floated powerless, in space. Medicine labs stopped working. Starports closed down. Chaos began to spread from one system to the next. Everyone asked the same question. Why did Earth leave? High above the planet, in an old alien archive, a young historian named Laura searched through data. She found something strange, records of every major invention in the last 100 years. Most of them were Earth-made. Human technology was everywhere. It was like no one noticed before. They just used it and forgot where it came from. Now that it was gone, everyone noticed. Back on Zernak, the Galactic Union leaders were still arguing. They wanted someone to blame. Humans were only tools, shouted one ambassador. They needed us. No, Vrel, the old historian, replied. We needed them. We just didn't see it. Flashbacks began to appear in minds and records. The early years of human contact. How Earth came into the Union, young, peaceful, curious. How they helped stop wars on the twin moons of Tyros. How they brought clean water to deserts on Calvix. How they rebuilt destroyed cities after the Corin plague. Humans never forced anyone. They offered help. They worked day and night. They asked for trade, friendship, and peace. But the truth was hard. The Union leaders grew rich on Earth's ideas. Taxes were high for humans. Their requests were often denied. And when they spoke up, they were told to stay in their place. Still, Earth kept giving. A memory surfaced in Laura's archive, an old Earth ambassador standing in the Union Hall years ago. We come in peace, but don't mistake our kindness for weakness. Now those words echoed across every mind. In the mining colony of Darnak 6, an old alien worker named Runk sat beside a dead machine. It was Earth-made. It once helped him walk again after an accident. Now it was cold and lifeless. They were watching, Runk whispered, watching how we treated them. On the outer rim, the planet Nexor was falling apart. Its entire food system used Earth's smart farming tools. Crops were dying, children were starving. And yet, just a month ago, their leaders called Earth a simple helper race. Now those same leaders were begging for help. But Earth wasn't answering. A pirate fleet tried to steal old human tech from a forgotten storage station. They didn't make it back. A strange weapon, never seen before, fired from the dark. Their ships turned to dust. Only one small drone survived. Its recording showed a glimpse of something terrifying. A smooth black ship, no engines, no windows, no markings. But the symbol of Earth was glowing bright on its side. It didn't look like anything built in this galaxy. The drone sent one final message before it died. They've changed. Back in the Union Hall, fear turned into regret. Some leaders tried to send peace messages. Others ordered their ships to prepare for war just in case. But no one knew where to send anything. Earth systems were locked. Their colonies were empty. Even their moon bases had vanished. No signal, no trace. Then came a small leak. A spy file from the past, written by a former alien ambassador who once worked on Earth. The file read, "They are not planning to stay. They are building something, not here, somewhere else." The file included maps, strange coordinates far outside the known galaxy. Deep space, unreachable without special gates humans had secretly built. The galaxy now realized Earth didn't just walk away. They had prepared for years, quietly, patiently. While everyone looked down on them, they had planned their exit. And now they were gone, but not powerless. A ship on patrol in the Shadow region picked up a strange message on an old Earth channel. It was slow, coded in music, but translated easily. This galaxy was never ready. We gave you peace. You gave us orders. We smiled. We obeyed. And we built. Now, we're done building. No one knew what that meant, but it didn't sound like a farewell. It sounded like a warning. On a moon near the edge, a small child asked his father, "Will the humans come back?" The father looked at the stars and said, "I don't think they ever left. I think they're just waiting." Meanwhile, in deep space, something massive moved behind a hidden star field, not seen by normal scanners. Silent, dark, but very much alive. And it had eyes. Looking back at the galaxy that once called Earth weak. They were wrong. They all were. And now, without Earth's help, the galaxy was learning the hard way. Who truly depended on whom? The stars were quiet but not empty. Far from the central planets beyond the mapped galaxy, something stirred in the darkness. It wasn't alien. It wasn't wild. It was built by human hands. No one in the Galactic Union knew about it. Not yet, but the signs were there. A retired scientist named Corin sat in his cold lab on a forgotten moon. He had once worked with human engineers. Long ago, they had come to him asking questions. Questions about star paths, dark matter, and gravitational cracks outside the galaxy. At the time, he thought they were just curious. Now he knew better. They were planning a way out, Corin said to himself, and we didn't see it. He opened an old file saved by a human friend before disappearing. The file showed maps, coordinates beyond any known star routes. In the corner, a single name flashed in old Earth script, Project Breaklight. Back. On Zernak, the Galactic Union's emergency council was in chaos. Whole systems were falling apart. Planets were fighting each other over resources. Earth's technology had kept things balanced. Its sudden removal had broken everything. Leaders shouted over one another, "They abandoned us." "No, we pushed them away. They were always planning to escape." Old Vrel stood up. His voice was tired but firm. "We didn't treat them like equals. We used their gifts. We taxed their ideas. And when they asked for a voice, we said, no." The room went quiet. A young officer ran in, pale and shaking. "We found something," she said. "Something big." Everyone turned. She showed a recording from a deep space probe. The video was short but powerful. A massive black structure floated beyond the edge of the galaxy. It looked like a station, but too large, too perfect, and it was active. A slow pulse of energy beat from it like a heart. Lights flashed in a strange rhythm. The Union's best scientists tried to decode the pattern. One word appeared again and again. Sol. It was the ancient name for Earth's star. On another planet, 2 alien explorers found a hidden archive inside an abandoned Earth embassy. They broke the locks and opened the files. Inside, they discovered something shocking. Earth had built secret gates. Not the Union's old slow gates. These were fast, invisible, and untrackable. Humans had placed them in empty corners of space, outside all charts. These gates didn't lead to Union space, they led away. One file showed a human scientist smiling. "If they ever turn on us," he said, "we won't fight. We'll just leave. Quietly. Let them taste life without us." Another voice added, "But we won't stay gone forever." The explorers backed away, scared. In the shadows of the galaxy, a pattern became clear. Humans had slowly moved their people out of key positions: engineers, doctors, peacekeepers, transport pilots. One by one, they vanished from alien worlds. No one noticed at the time. Now it made sense. Humans hadn't run. They had relocated. Secretly, perfectly. Like a quiet army retreating into the dark, only to come back stronger. Back at the edge of known space, another patrol ship caught a transmission from one of the lost gates. It wasn't words. It was music. Old Earth music. A low, slow hum filled the ship. Then a voice spoke. Project Echo. Is active. Then silence. The Union scrambled their best minds to understand. What was Project Echo? Corin, the old scientist, found the answer in a backup server hidden deep in an asteroid lab. Project Echo was Earth's last plan. A backup civilization. A new home. A place without the Galactic Union. A place to grow and to remember. It was also more than that. It was a signal. A way for Earth to return, but only when ready. On the peaceful planet of Veltris, a group of children played outside. One of them looked up and pointed. A strange shape was in the sky. Not a ship, not a moon. Shadow moving across the stars. No one else saw it, but soon others would. The shape matched the ones found near the hidden gates. Sleek, silent, watching. The galaxy started asking new questions. Were the humans planning to attack, or were they simply waiting? Back on Zernak, a quiet message came, through an old Earth diplomatic channel. It was weak, broken, but real. The message played once, then disappeared. We're not your workers. We're not your tools. We were the balance. You broke it, that was all. Many leaders begged Earth to return, but Earth had already given their answer. They weren't just leaving. They were building something better. And while the galaxy fell into panic and war, Earth was preparing. For what? No one knew. But one thing was certain now. They didn't need the galaxy. The galaxy needed them. The skies were changing. On the outer edge of the galaxy, near the broken Union border, small flashes of light appeared. Some were fast, some stayed longer, but all of them came from the same place, deep space, far beyond known stars. No one knew what was out there, but the signs were clear. Earth was not hiding anymore. On a dusty desert world called Vorn 3, a lonely trader named Ulik watched the skies through an old telescope. He had once traded with humans. Simple tools, medicine, and solar packs. They were kind, smart, always polite. He missed them. As he focused the telescope, he saw something strange. A triangle-shaped ship, smooth and black, flying across the stars without sound. No engines, no trail. It moved with perfect grace. Then, it vanished into the dark. That wasn't Union tech, Ulik whispered. That was human. Word spread, fast. Sightings of mysterious ships grew across the galaxy. They never attacked. They never spoke, but they were watching. Meanwhile, chaos inside the Galactic Union worsened. The supply lines had collapsed. Entire worlds ran out of food. Civil unrest was rising. Old enemies started wars again. Trade routes became battlegrounds. Without Earth's tech and peacekeepers, no one could hold the galaxy together. In the Union's control room, Commander Trezak slammed his hand on the console. We underestimated them, he said. They held the galaxy together, not with force, with balance. Old Vrel, now an advisor, nodded. And we broke that balance. More leaked reports came in. A Union scout ship near the Andrax Nebula had found a human-built relay station. Still active, but it was guarded. The scout tried to approach. It disappeared. Only one message came back. This is not your space. On the peaceful water world of Lura, an alien doctor named Seely was one of the last who still used human medicine. Her patients were dying. The human devices were breaking one by one. She sat alone in her clinic, holding a small Earth-made scanner. Please, she whispered. If you're out there, we need you. The scanner blinked once, then shut down. Far away in a secret chamber beneath the planet Kravos, a Union scientist unlocked another human file. This one was different. It wasn't a threat or warning. It was a plan. The file showed a full design of something called ArcNet, a powerful hidden network of satellites, stations, and gates spread beyond the galaxy's edge. Its purpose was simple: preserve humanity, watch the galaxy, return only when the lesson is learned. The message ended with one last line: silence is not weakness, it is patience. Now the leaders finally understood. Earth had never truly trusted the Union, not fully. Even while helping, they prepared to leave, and not just to escape, but to rise. On the planet Bexor, a group of soldiers trained using old Earth battlesuits. The suits were still active, but only halfway. Some features were locked. Suddenly, the suits lit up. One by one, the system came alive. A voice echoed from inside the helmets. "This technology is no longer yours." Then the suits powered down, forever. Even Earth's weapons were turning their backs on the galaxy. Some Union commanders ordered their fleets to search the hidden human sector. Big mistake. A fleet of 12 warships entered the outer rim. Only one returned. Its pilot had no memory of what happened, but the ship's data showed one thing. The warships were surrounded by strange Earth drones, black as shadows, faster than anything seen before. No shots fired, no noise, and yet, all 11 ships vanished. The returning pilot spoke only one sentence, before collapsing. "They don't need war, they're already beyond it." Back on Zernak, fear became something worse. Respect. People started to talk differently. Not about how Earth could be punished, but how Earth should be understood. Many began asking, did we lose the galaxy's true leaders? On a broadcast watched by over 400 systems, a famous alien journalist said, "We thought we were the center. We thought Earth was our helper, but Earth was building something we couldn't see." Then she paused and added, "Maybe they're not coming back to help. Maybe they're coming back to judge." Across the stars, in a hidden orbit above a black star, a giant human ship waited. Its shape was unlike anything known, not built for war, not for trade. It was a city, a moving city, glowing with power, filled with light. Inside it, humans lived, studied, trained, and watched. A young human girl looked out from a large window. Her father stood beside her, a former engineer once laughed at by the Union Council. "Will we go back?" she asked. Her father nodded slowly. "Yes, but not as helpers, not as servants." He pointed to the galaxy outside. "We go back to remind them who kept their stars burning." The ship moved forward just a little, testing its strength, sending its signal. Earth was not silent anymore, and soon, the galaxy would have to face what it had lost. A single flare lit up the edge of the galaxy. It wasn't from a star. It wasn't from war. It was a signal, a human signal. For years, Earth had been quiet, watching, waiting, letting the galaxy fall apart without them. Now, they had spoken, again. A message reached every planet, every moon, every outpost. "This is Sol Command. Your cycle of use and silence is over. Watch, learn, do not interfere." It was short, cold, powerful. The Galactic Union panicked. In the control center on Zernak, alarms rang. Screens blinked. A new map appeared in red, showing 11 points outside the galaxy. They were the same coordinates found in old Earth files, ArcNet locations. Commander Trezak stared at the screen. "They're turning it on," he whispered. "It's starting." "Starting what?" someone asked. No one answered. On the planet Kureth, a science station caught a strange event. A dead star, lifeless, for centuries, suddenly came alive. Not natural, not possible. A beacon rose from its core. It wasn't from the star. It was from beneath it. Earth had built something inside the dead star. The message was simple. "Power restored, gate stable, begin phase 2. Back on Vorn 3, Ulik the trader received a private message on an old Earth device. It had been silent for years. Now a voice spoke from it. "Ulik, you were kind. You traded fairly. You are marked as safe." Then it shut off. Ulik stared at the sky. "Are they protecting me?" He wasn't the only one. All across the galaxy, certain people were getting similar messages. Those who had treated humans with respect. Old friends, honest traders, forgotten allies. Earth remembered them all. But those who had mocked, taxed, or used humans unfairly, they were getting nothing. On the icy prison world of Narax, alarms failed. Security shields collapsed. Guards vanished without a sound. The prison once held a group of Earth scientists, arrested years ago for breaking tech laws. Now their cells were empty. Only a message remained, written on the wall in light. We took back our own. The Union grew desperate. Fleets were scrambled. Spy probes were sent toward Earth's last known direction. None returned. Only echoes came back. Whispers of music, voices speaking in forgotten Earth languages, and one repeating phrase, "Do not follow." In the galactic hall, arguments exploded again. Should we attack? Should we beg for peace? Should we wait? Old Vrel stood once more, his face pale. "We do not attack what we don't understand," he said. "And we do not beg for peace. That chance is gone." The room fell silent. Meanwhile, on a quiet moon called Lyra 7, something impossible happened. A young alien girl was dying. No cure worked. Her mother cried in silence, holding her close. Suddenly, the room filled with soft light. A human-shaped figure appeared, tall, calm, glowing with strange energy. It touched the child's forehead, then vanished. The girl opened her eyes. She was healed. No one knew who the figure was, but the message was clear. Earth still had kindness. They were just choosing who deserved it now. Far beyond the stars, inside one of the ArcNet cities, a large council of humans met. They were different. Scientists, artists, warriors, builders. No more politicians, no more greed. They watched the galaxy on large floating screens. Civil wars, failing systems, crying leaders. "We warned them," one woman said. "They didn't listen," said another. "Now they learn." A boy at the console raised his hand. "One world is trying to rebuild fairly. They've made peace. They're helping others." They even thanked Earth in a public message. The council paused. "Mark them," the leader said. "Not all are blind." Outside the ArcNet walls, new ships were being built. Fast, quiet, invisible too. Union scans, but they weren't warships, they were judgment ships. Their job was not to destroy. Their job was to observe and decide. Inside one ship, a pilot received his mission. "Go to Sector 12. Watch. If they harm the innocent, disable their weapons. If they speak in peace, offer aid. If they lie, leave them to fall." "Yes, Commander." The galaxy didn't know what was coming. They thought humans were either gone or angry. They didn't see the truth. Humans weren't mad. They were changed. Stronger, smarter, wiser. No longer servants. No longer the helper race. Now, they were the judges of balance. Back on Zernak, someone finally said what others feared to admit. "They're not returning to join us." He looked at the red map on the screen, growing brighter, louder, closer. "They're returning to decide who gets to survive." The galaxy held its breath. Every screen, every satellite, every sensor was watching. Earth hadn't spoken again, not with words. But their actions were louder than any voice. In just 3 days, 3 powerful Union planets lost their war fleets. Not destroyed, not attacked, disabled. Every weapon, shield, and engine stopped working, completely. Soldiers stood in silence, afraid. Ships floated dead in space. No one knew how the systems failed. Only one strange mark appeared on every command screen. Humanity observes. It was not a threat. It was a reminder. Earth hadn't left in anger. They had evolved. In the great halls of Zernak, fear had become desperation. Union leaders argued day and night. "They're not killing us, but they're showing power. They want us to fall without touching us. This is punishment." But old Vrel saw it differently. "No," he said quietly. "This is a test." People laughed. "A test? Of what?" Vrel stood slowly, staring at the star map. "A test of who deserves a future." Across the stars, a small farming planet called Rivik 2 received something strange. The people were poor, they never harmed humans. They had even adopted human farming machines. One night, a giant shadow appeared above their sky. Not a ship, something bigger. A floating structure. Quiet, silver, elegant. It lowered small containers to the surface. Inside was advanced farming, tech, pure clean water, and seeds not seen since Earth left. A voice spoke from the clouds. You remembered our kindness, so we remember you. Then it vanished. Rivek 2 was never touched again. Not by pirates, not by war, not by hunger. It was now protected. Back in the ArcNet core, inside Earth's hidden megastation, young humans trained in silence. Not for war, but for judgment. They studied history, peace, ethics, and defense. Each knew the truth. They were not soldiers. They were balance keepers. In one chamber, a trainer spoke to her group. Long ago, we begged to be heard. They laughed. She paced slowly. So we left. And we built. Now she turned to them. We don't return with hate. We return with choice. She pressed a button. The screen showed a world on fire, once rich with Earth tech, now broken by greed. This one ignored our help, then stole our tools. Now they fall. Another screen appeared, a planet helping its neighbors, even with little. This one shared. Even now, they build peace. They rise. She looked at her students. We choose. That is our way now. Meanwhile, on a Union border world, a desperate group of leaders tried to contact Earth. They launched an ancient human satellite, hoping to open a message channel. To their surprise, it worked. A soft female voice replied, "This is ArcNet Relay 7. Your request is received. Your past actions are reviewed. Please wait." They waited. Hours passed. Finally, a message appeared. Your world will be observed for 60 days. Show peace. Show honesty. Show change. If they failed, the channel would close forever. Back in the hidden sectors beyond the galaxy, the Earth Council met again. We have shown them enough, one man said. Let them fall. But the lead elder shook her head. No, that is what they expected of us. Anger, revenge. We are more than that. Another asked, then what do we do now? She pointed at the galaxy. We keep watching, keep offering hope, but not to those in power, to the forgotten, the kind, the fair. In a cold region of space, a Union mining station went silent. Pirates had taken control. They were harming workers, beings who once lived peacefully. That night, the pirates vanished. No fight, no sound, just gone. The workers found only one thing left behind, an Earth-made shield around the station, powered by unknown tech. A message played on loop. You are safe. Keep building. We are near. And so the galaxy began to understand something very important. Earth had not returned as rulers. They had returned as guardians. But guardians with rules. They would help the honest. They would ignore the corrupt. They would not destroy. They would let destruction happen on its own. Some Union leaders began changing their worlds, cleaning their systems, returning stolen tech, apologizing openly to their people, not to please Earth, but because they feared Earth was their only real hope. On a quiet planet called Thala, a young boy looked up at the night sky. He saw a shimmer, soft white light blinking once every few seconds. His grandfather whispered, "That's not a star. That's them." Them? Humans. Watching. Waiting. Deciding. The boy stared harder, and for a moment, he believed. The star blinked at him. Far away inside the largest arc ship ever built, a final message was prepared. It would not go out yet, but soon, when the time was right. It simply said, "The age of silence ends. Prepare. We are returning, not to follow, but to lead." The galaxy was quiet, but it was not the same kind of quiet from before. This silence was filled with fear, wonder, and questions. Earth had returned, not as a friend, not as an enemy, but as something greater. From the edge of deep space, 12 massive human ships now stood in orbit around key Union systems. No signals were sent, no weapons fired. Just their presence was enough. Everyone noticed. People on every planet looked up into their skies and saw the black, silent ships watching. The broadcast began again. A calm, emotionless voice spoke. "This is Sol Authority. Earth will not interfere, unless balance is broken." The message repeated only once every 12 hours. And then, nothing. Leaders in the Galactic Union grew desperate. Some begged for answers. Some tried to apologize. Others prepared their fleets to defend themselves, even knowing it was useless. Commander Trezak stood in his war room watching the star maps. "There are no attacks," he said, "but they are everywhere. What do they want?" One officer asked. Trezak's voice was quiet. "They want us to decide who we are, who we choose to be." In a small city on the planet Gorin 4, an old alien man found a dusty human music player in a shop. It started playing by itself. A slow, calm, Earth song from centuries ago. Children gathered to listen. They didn't understand the words, but they felt something. Something safe. Back on Ryvek 2, where Earth had gifted food and water, the people began building new schools using the tools left behind. A tall silver device suddenly came to life and lit up the town. A hologram appeared, above it, showing a human child and alien child playing together. A message floated above. "Those who grow in peace shall rise with us." But not everyone listened. On the rich world of Salax Prime, leaders laughed at Earth's presence. "They hide behind tech," they said. "They fear direct control." The next morning, every bank system collapsed. Every satellite fell. Every ship lost power. No one died, but the world stood frozen, and Earth said nothing, because it didn't need to. On Ark Ship 1, hidden beyond the edge of the Milky Way, the Earth Council met for the last time. All 12 council members stood before a large screen showing thousands of dots, each one a world. "Final review?" the lead speaker asked. A young officer nodded. 79 planets observed, 22 marked for uplift, 34 under probation, the rest left to their own fate. "Rejection?" the speaker asked. The officer looked away. Regretfully, "Yes." "Let it be done," the speaker said. "Earth no longer begs. Earth decides." Elsewhere, on a mining colony once ruled by cruelty, the workers awoke to find a strange dome above them. Transparent, soft, warm. It filtered the air, cooled the heat, and made the water clean. A voice played once. "You worked without hurting others. You are safe." On the prison world of Glorn, where humans were once locked away for refusing to hand over tech secrets, the guards found all the doors open, and all the prisoners gone. Written across the empty walls in soft light were the words, "Truth waits, lies fade." The galaxy finally understood. Earth was not back to conquer. Earth was here to choose. On a distant moon, a child looked up at the night sky and asked her mother, "Why do they watch us?" Her mother smiled gently. "They watch to see if we're ready for what's next." In the skies above, one of the giant ships shimmered and then slowly vanished. It had seen enough. In the final hours of the new cycle, one last message was received, across all systems. Not a voice, not a warning, just a simple image. A bright white path stretching from the galaxy's center into the stars beyond. And 4 words, "Follow when you're ready." No one could respond, because everyone knew what it meant. Earth was leaving again. Not out of anger this time. Not because they were ignored, but because they had done what they came to do. To give a final gift. A chance. A chance to grow. A chance to change. A chance to rise, or fall. And this time it was not up to Earth. It was up to them. As the last Ark ship blinked out of the sky, a new star appeared in its place. Soft, white, and pulsing like a heartbeat. Some say it was just a beacon. Others say it was a doorway. But all across the galaxy, the message stayed the same. Earth had returned. Not to need anyone, not to be needed, but to remind the galaxy of one simple truth. Humanity never needed saving. Humanity became the test. And now, the galaxy was on trial.